Hi guys, Don here, and for a special video for you. So, earlier this month, after I had my art class, I went to Dixon Middle School for their open house farewell tour. Yes, at Dixon is going to be permanently closing its doors, and the staff, the students, the faculty are all going to be moving to a new middle school, Lakeshore Middle School. Staff's looking forward to this, and the reason is Dixon is old. It is not equipped to handle 100+ students. So honestly, essentially, we've been overdue for a new middle school, and yeah, the neighborhood that Dixon is located in is retaining the name. I'm not sure what will happen to the building, but hopefully they'll find something to preserve it because it is a historic landmark. And while I, so when I went to the open house, I got this shirt which shows you how it's established in 1931. Yeah, it, it was be fall 1931 to be exact. So that was during the Depression. And I also made a point, as this is something I failed to do when the old Pro High closed down, and we had one last celebration there, was our reunion of sorts, was to get a commemorative pin. So I made sure to grab one for Dixon while I was in the library. I also was in there trying to find my yearbook picture. So I attended Dixon for one school year, 1995 to 96. And the reason for that is the school boundaries changed over the summer, so I attended their different middle school for 8th grade. That was Fair Middle School, which no longer exists. We didn't even get to do it for well there. They just converted it into an elementary school. But yeah, so I just struggled trying to find the yearbook that would contain mine, but thanks to Stephanie, she tracked down the picture, because you recall that during my 1 year there was during the Utah Bicentennial when Utah attained statehood, and that's a different video for that time. But yeah, me, 12 going on 13, pre-glasses. I did not start wearing glasses until later on in 7th grade, so yep, bushy hair. Sadly, it's in black and white, so you can't see that I was wearing this nice pink shirt and cherry cheek jewelry, because I have cherry creek ancestry. Small percentage on dad's side. And I don't know, yeah, but that's a different video for that time. I might do. Yeah, so admittedly, my experience at Dixon was, well, mixed. So, but for some context before I go into that. So, when I first started elementary school, I attended Franklin for kindergarten and first grade. I did get tested, and we're talking back in the 80s. Yeah. And I was tested, but I only had to be, but it came away with only 2 things. I needed speech therapy because I struggled with making the TH sound. Still struggle with it a bit sometimes, but not as bad as I used to. And walking and doing balancing lessons. I had struggles walking on a balance beam. My center of gravity was way off. And if you were to look at indicators for if someone has Asperger's, which is a form of autism, balancing issues is one of them. So, yeah. Early indicator, but we weren't looking, even thinking about autism at the time. That would not happen until much later on. Yeah, so those were the 2 things that I was only ever taken out of class for kindergarten, first grade at Franklin. And the rest of the time, I was with my classmates, spending time in class, doing recess. After my family moved to the house that we've been living in since, and this was Christmas season 1989. Trust me, there's a lot of snow on the ground. Not the best time to move. Yeah, so while I finished up first grade at Franklin, second through sixth grade, I went to Sunset Elementary. Now, I did get retested, and so this is 1990, and apparently, I don't know if it was the person who ran the test or if something had changed or just how they were doing things at Sunset View, but they told my parents I had some sort of learning disability. Weren't testing for autism. That was still a novel thing. This is early days. I mean, this is the year that they introduced the American Disability Act. Came into effect. That was July 1990, so prior to me starting second grade. And so, some sort of learning disability. Speech therapy? Still. Okay, fine. Reading? Okay. Writing? And math. Yeah, math. I spent more time outside of the classroom, away from my classmates, than I did in the classroom. I don't know what was going on with Pro School District at the time, but it was a struggle. And unfortunately, there was also a bullying problem going on at the school that the principal and those especially at recess were just dismissing, acting like it wasn't serious. So, yeah, get a little emotional, sorry, but I had struggles with bullying at Sunset View. And while teachers did get read the Riot Act eventually after I got shut down in fourth grade, yeah, having it in front of Pratt Middle School, can't sadly ignore that, can you? Yeah, but point is, things did start working out better by the time fourth grade and fifth grade started. There was actually a little less bullying, but it still existed. And it did get a tab worse in sixth grade, and then that worked out. Basically, after my sixth grade teacher had a serious talk with my classmates, and it worked out for the most part. Seventh grade at Dixon, like I said, my experience there was mixed. So, one thing we did in the summer before I was due to start middle school, I think parents enrolled me in the band program early, so I took it during the summer. Got me a clarinet, rent to own, and that actually helped me find a niche at the school. So it saved my life to an extent. So at Dixon, the way they did things was that first day of school, it would just be the seventh graders that gave us time to actually find our way to classes, figure out the hallway situation. And the next day, the eighth graders came in. Yeah, middle school chaos. I still apparently none of the teachers that I was in the class that had me as their student had looked at my IMP. Basically, that's a person's personal progress thing, for education purposes, because of learning disability. None of the teachers had been given my file to look at. I don't know if that was deliberate or what was going on with the school administration at that time, but that first parent-teacher conference, my mom had to sit down with each of my teachers, talk with them, point out these facts. It was nerve-wracking because at that time my dad was working a technical writing job up in California. And Mommy was pretty much looking after me, Stephanie, and Amanda, who was about a year old by this point. And we knew about her Down syndrome, but the autism wouldn't show up until much later on, about around the time I was in college for her. And yeah, my parents had, it's hard on Mommy, so because she had to balance Amanda care, Stephanie being in elementary at times was still Sunset View, and eventually Amelia Earhart, but at that time still Sunset View, and me in middle school. It was a struggle, and my bully problem got worse, unfortunately. And did survive that school year, but there were points where I came close to crashing and burning. One of those times was when, for whatever, and I question the logic of this to this day. Dixon decided for one day to do restocking, to check the stock and restocking in the lunchroom, and so nobody would have lunch that day. They put notices on the board, on the walls, and that was it. And because we're all trying to get to class, we don't really have time to stop and write stuff down on our planners. Had I been able to do that, I could have told Mommy, and we probably could have planned for something. But because it was only on the board, only on notices on the walls, and nothing else was talked about, not even over school announcements at the morning, during morning announcements. That was my blood sugar tanked. I was barely able to get for the school day. I almost did not make it to the bus. But my English teacher, she found me and got me to the bus. And I was able to get home, but it was rough. If it wasn't for Ben, I probably would have crashed and burned that school year. Sorry. Like I said, my experience there was mixed. Definitely have friends. It was a struggle. And so the school year ended and made it through, barely. And I learned over that summer that the school boundary lines had changed, so I would not be going back, and I was relieved. Basically, 8th grade at Fair was a recovery year. That summer, during tennis lessons, because I said I wanted to try out tennis, I made some real friends who were also attending Fair, so we were able to I basically had a support system. And good thing too, because, well, there's still some bullying issues, not as bad. There were other things going on that really, it was more weird than bad, but sort of all over the place. So, not nearly as bad as bullying. I mean, there was a 7th grader boy who kept claiming that he'd stolen his planner, even though I didn't. Finally got back off and asked, "Do you like me?" Oh my gosh, did he try to run? His eyes go wide. Yeah. That scared him off. I mean, yeah, he still tried every now and then, but not as badly. Yeah. Yeah. Probably the most stressful thing that happened was, I don't know what was going on with the band teacher, but it's like she didn't want to be there. I mean, we would practice songs, we had concerts, but it's like she really wasn't, her heart wasn't really in it. And half the time we were like reorganizing the band room. Like, supposed to be having class, supposed to be playing music, not reorganizing stuff. And we never knew if she would be there or if we would have a sub, because she was also supposed to be teaching what was supposed to be an ASL class. Wasn't ASL. It was exact English sign language. Completely different. So, like I said, I never knew if we would have her or a sub. I mean, if it was her husband, no, not so bad for band, because he was also band instructor. But it was always touch and go with the subs. Some were decent, some I don't know why they were substitutes. I just don't know why. My friend Kim, if depending on where we were in the rotation, because the schedule for the periods, 1 through 8, would rotate. If she had band before lunch, she could let me know if it was our teacher or a sub, and which sub. And so I usually had a good idea of what to expect. Now, if I had band before she did, I could let her know. And one time, I was thinking it was about springtime, so second semester, we had been watching Music Man, the original, not the one with Matthew Broderick, which I've yet to see. And so band was 8 periods, so this time it was at the last period of the day, last class of the day. And it was also the day we were finishing up the movie, and we had one of the not so pleasant subs. And the brass section, they decided to throw paper at the back of our heads. Those of us in woodwind, so the floor was a bit covered. Bell rings. We're supposed to be heading out the door. She would not let anyone leave until every scrap of paper was picked up. I pointed out that some of us actually need to get bus. She said, "I don't care. Pick up." And I have not been able to watch the Music Man since. I keep telling myself, okay, Dawn, at some point you're going to grab that movie and watch it. And get pushed through that trauma. Won't be today, but I plan to. If I have to swipe the movie from my dad's bedroom, because he has it on DVD, and take it with me when I go on my vacation in July. I won't say when in July, but it is happening. Parents have already put the room for me, so yay. Yeah. Okay, this video is taking a turn. Anyways, yeah, so 8th grade was recovery. We actually made some real friends, and was weird. But yeah, so Dixon is closing its doors, and so, but got the shirt, got the pin, and the things to stuff. Copy of my yearbook picture. So, yay. Yeah, didn't expect to talk about fair or a bit of my school year prior to Dixon, but yeah. All I know is that whatever reason, my records were not looked at well at Dixon, and things have clearly improved there since both Amanda and Mackenzie attended Dixon and had much better experiences than I did. And Steph doesn't blame me for having mixed memories of the place. She feels like the school system failed me, and given we were talking about the 90s at that point, it kind of did. The 90s struggle. But that's all for now. So, if you're new to my channel, subscribe, help my channel grow, ping that notification bell so you don't miss out when I upload new content, and I will see you guys later. Bye for now.